Number four of six things that don't count is kind of related to number three. It is called a prepaid funeral trust. And this is where sometimes individuals will go to the family funeral parlor and they'll prepay and prearrange what's going to happen for them when the time comes and they're going into a better place. They speak to the funeral home director and they say, look, I want this coffin, I want this lining, I want these services, I want prayer cards, flowers, food, I want, a 2-day viewing, whatever they arrange. The funeral home director will say, look, it costs X. And if you pay X, we will have it all set up for you when you go. From a Medicaid perspective, whatever you prepay doesn't count. That prepaid funeral trust doesn't count when determining if you're over or the threshold of $15,750 in assets. Now, I always pause here and say, this is a nice thing that parents can do for kids, because in another part of my practice, where we help executors and when someone passes away, oftentimes there's a lot of acrimony and fighting when it comes to, what to do with mom. Should she be buried with her, engagement ring? Should she be, you prearrange these things and it's all set up. There's no questions. The family gets, cards of the funeral home, and the card basically has a phone number to call, and the call goes something like this. You call up and you say, hi, I'm Tommy Smith, and mom passed away. And they say, well, where's mom? You say, well, she's at St. Catherine's Hospital. They come, they pick her up. It's all been prearranged. There's no angst, there's no decision making. So it's a nice thing that can be done for the family. Of course, then sometimes people say, well, what happens if the funeral home goes out of business? Or what happens if the funeral home director is, a bad guy? How do I know that money will be there? And the answer is, this special account that gets set up is regulated by the New York State Banking Department. So if the funeral home goes out of business, you just transfer that account to the new, funeral parlor that the family will use. So it's a nice thing to set up for the family. It's not pleasant to think about. It's not fun to go there. But you know what? People like to, make sure that their arrangements are set up. And it just so happens that it happens to be something that doesn't count towards Medicaid eligibility.